I just talked about the carbon footprint, a little bit about the definition of what it is, and we all leave our traces behind, from our everyday lives, and when we travel, and when we buy products.
Yes.
And you had a very famous exhibition, the so-called No Trace exhibition, where you, expedition, where you travel with a Nissan Leaf,
yes.
an electric car, 16,000 kilometers from Poland to Japan, crossing
30,000.
30,000, in total,
Yes.
crossing 7 countries. And, why did you do that? And what was your total carbon footprint? I mean, on a daily basis, I imagine you have a lower carbon footprint, but why did you do that? What was the motivation behind that, and what's important for you when it comes to that carbon footprint?
Yeah, the carbon, I think it's, if you just take my literally carbon footprint, it was, we as the humans, we make a footprint because we breathe. So even you don't do anything, you just have a carbon footprint. But let's talk about just the carbon footprint from our activities. And so I went with the Nissan Leaf. It's an electrical car, so it was zero emission, zero CO2 emission car. So literally, my carbon footprint from the car and from my activities was zero. But if you think about the energy for the Nissan Leaf, and I went mostly to Russia, China, and Mongolia, maybe we can think about what is the contribution of for the electric power for the car, the contribution of the let's say clean electricity and the dirty electricity. So, but yes, my footprint from the technical point of view was zero on the way to Japan and back. And the main concept of the no-trace expedition was without traces, so no leaving the trace, only leaving the positive trace in the mind of the people. And it was like, because it was the idea, I have taken this idea from my trip to the North Pole and South Pole, because when I went to the North Pole and South Pole, I went on skis, unsupported, so the only trace and all the waste, I have a special bag for the waste, and all the waste I have taken with me. So and the only trace was the trace on the snow. So I tried to imagine if it's possible to travel in this way between the poles, and then I came to the idea the best way will be to travel with the solar car. But there is no technology at the moment to go with the solar car from Poland to Japan and back.
Not yet.
You can go maybe under some deserts, some special roads, etc. But the electric car is a good compromise, and the idea is just to put attention on the waste that we produce. And we produce the waste not only by traveling, and of course it's not possible to travel for all of us, the electric car, but it's possible to travel with a low emission transport, which is like trains, electric cars, or even collective transport is more low-emission transport than just the private cars. And on the other hand is the waste that we produce by consuming. And I noticed that on the way to Japan and back, that it's not only the problem of collecting the waste, but the problem is just we produce the waste by buying the articles which are packed in plastic and yes, by consumption mainly. So it's not only the problem that how to utilize the rubbish or the waste, but how to live with as as less possible impact on the nature, yes, as possible. And now, step by step, I think you can choose between the sustainable packaging for the products and non-sustainable. And there is a lot of there is many ways to live in sustainable way.
So it's a lot about our behavior,
yeah, the behavior
and the awareness that we have about what we leave behind. I mean, I'm always
and this is the why my new project is called Power for Change, because after this trip to Japan and back, I realized that there are three problems that humanity are facing. There is sustainability and the carbon footprint and the climate change. And the second problem is singularity and artificial intelligence. And the third problem is social empowerment. And in my new project, the new project is called Power for Change. We try to deal with this problem by changing the behavior of the people. And yes, I will go around the world with electric car and with a robot. And yes, we try to change the behavior of the people by collecting the declaration about changing the habits. For example, it will be 10 categories. Like I use for 1 week sustainable transport or low emission transport, and or I don't use plastic, or etc. etc. And this declaration we will calculate to the miles for electric car, and this will be the fuel for me in short.
So it's about raising awareness first, and then through that, helping people to change their behavior. I mean,
yes, because there is, of course, there are big ideas like climate change and the companies and the factories, etc. But if we don't buy the products that contributes to, it's a simple way. If we just stop,
and we have a few pictures of you here, right?
If we stop to buy the products, they are, for example, they are packed in the non-sustainable way, or if we stop the product that they contribute to polluting the nature, or if we ban the companies that are polluting the natures, then because everything is more or less about the business. So we see
that's the robot that you're traveling with.
We have the power, in fact, and this is about this empowering the people. We have the power. If there is a myriad of people, if the people have awareness, and if they stop to behave in some way, if they stop to use the service that pollute the nature, if they stop to buy the products that contribute to pollute the nature, then this is the power that we can change the companies. Because if we buy this product, we rise this trend.
And that is interesting, because I think that is a crucial factor in all of this, that we sometimes do not realize the power that we have as consumers going out there buying products or using certain services, right? And I'm surprised sometimes when we talk about mobility, for example, we have these new vehicles like electric scooters, and you think, okay, yeah, they're great, they're new technology, but then again, what happened to walking? People don't walk anymore, they just, buzz by on these new machines, and they have a carbon footprint because they need to be produced. They can, consume electric energy, and I have energy. I can walk if it's on like 500 meters, or I can ride a bike if it's a little more. So you're all about educating people, about raising awareness, and for some people, I can imagine it seems it's so hard to change behavior. Do I have to change my whole life? What is your advice? Where to start?
No, you don't have to change whole life. Just you can make step by step, and yes, you can start from the point that you said, like to walk instead for the short distance, to walk instead of taking the taxi or Uber, or to use the train instead of planes sometimes. And then with electric car, the people they think that using electric car is very very hard. Like there is no infrastructure. But it's not true. I mean, there is in fact there is no infrastructure for gasoline station, because you need a gasoline station to have a fuel for normal car, but electricity is everywhere. So in fact, for example, when I went to Japan and back, the people told me constantly how you charge the car in Siberia, how you charge the car in Mongolia.
Well, they have electricity, right?
They have electricity, so you can charge everywhere. It's just a matter of the time. So at the same, I know I drive electric car every day. Not to Katowice, because I come from Dubai, but I forgot about the gasoline station, because I just charge the car in my home. So I don't waste the time for going to the station, or because I just plug car into
Plug it in like a phone.
So you charge. So I mean, in the future there is many solutions for charging electric cars, and you can even charge the car in the parking place at work, everywhere. So step by step, I think.
There's a question about your new project. You know, a person wants to know what ignited the love, what sparked your interest in electric cars in combination with artificial intelligence. Why that combination? And you know.
Yes, because I, as explorer and philosopher, it's for me it's natural to face some borders, to cross the borders, and one of the limits is like how to drive with electric car, etc. So I wanted just to check how it's possible to cross this limit of range of electric cars, and I went to Japan and back, and there was no problem. I mean, there were some problems, but if it's possible for one guy to go to Japan and back with the electric car, so why it should be the problem to go around the Poland? It's not a problem at all. And I am, after going this 30,000 kilometers, I really fall in love with electric cars, because the electric car is silent, is clean, and even your body feels better driving electric car, because you don't have all this pollution. And if you drive normal car, after driving 10 hours, you are really tired. And after driving even 10, 15 hours in electric car, I was not tired at all, because there is no this vibration from the engine, from the gasoline or diesel engine. There is no this smell of kerosene, gasoline. And the car is very silent, so it's really, you can fall in love with the electric car, I don't think I fall in love with artificial intelligence, but for our humans, there is a challenge that we have to face: how to deal with artificial intelligence. And
you mentioned singularity, the moment in time when the artificial intelligence will be at the same level with the human intelligence and then surpass it. So is that a good or a bad thing for you?
Yes, for me it's a really interesting adventure, because because I am explorer, I'm philosopher and explorer, and I was always fascinated about Thor Heyerdahl. Thor Heyerdahl, he went with, he was using the raft for crossing the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and he himself he gave the name for his activity, like he said he's doing the experimental archaeology, because with the experiments he's proving how in the past people travel from one place to another, or if the people in Polynesia come from South America or not. He wanted to prove it by experiment. And so it's very interesting. If you can do experimental archaeology, you can do also experimental futurology. So it means you can prove by experiment how the future will looks like. So Yes, I think it's this. I fall in love with this experimental futurology, and I try to imagine the experiments like going around the world with artificial intelligence, because it will be more or less this going 6 months alone with in the car, like in the capsule, with a robot. It will be like to going with the Mars in the future, in the capsule with artificial intelligence, with the robots. So yes, this is I love experiments. I love explore, and exploring the future is a brilliant experiment. So this is why I fall in love with artificial intelligence, with electric cars, but with like intelligent. I would say intelligent mobility, because this is not only electric, but all the concept of the future mobility is intelligent mobility, and the intelligent mobility is based on clean power, electric engine, but then maybe in the future we will have clean energy from the solar energy or renewable energy, and yes, and that's why yes, I fall in love with this.
That's an interesting way of putting it, intelligent mobility. We have a question in Polish that I cannot translate, but maybe you can answer it.
Tak, ja bardzo się cieszę, że Olga Tokarczuk dostała Nagrodę Nobla, tym bardziej, że napisała książkę Bieguni, która jest mi bliska, bo opowiada właśnie też o podróżowaniu, o biegunach, także absolutnie super, że kolejna Nagroda Nobla dla Polski, dla polskiej
this I understand, yes.
autorki i właśnie dla Olgi, która dużo pisze o podróżach, i księgi Jakubowe, i parę razy zresztą poznałem Olgę Tokarczuk, także bardzo się cieszę, że Olga dostała Nagrodę Nobla, i to kolejny Nobel po Sienkiewiczu, Rejmoncie, Miłoszu i Wisławie Szymborskiej. Także super.
Thank you very much for being
here.
Wielki
dzień dla polskiej literatury i dla też literatury częściowo podróżniczej.
Come find and talk to him. He's just really interesting. I'm sure he will share. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time because we have the next one coming up. Yes. But I think that is a very, very interesting project. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll follow your expeditions. So keep coming back and telling us about your explorations. Marek Kamiński.
Thank you very much. Thanks.